Lafayette, Louisiana, the site this week where ultimately we will crown a champion in the Sun Belt. It's the opening round of the 2026 Sun Belt Softball Championship as we begin with last year's champions, the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina, squaring off against the Eagles of Georgia Southern. You're watching the Sun Belt on ESPN. We welcome you to Event Girard Field here at Lamson Park. Great to have you with us over the next 4 days where one of these 10 teams remaining in the Sun Belt will ultimately lift a title and move on to the NCAA tournament. Welcome into our live coverage, everybody. Again, it's going to be a fun ride along the way here on the campus of Louisiana Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose. And Jenna, I mentioned one of these two teams could be just 4 wins away from going on to the NCAA tournament as champions here in the Sun Belt.
Both of these teams have put in so much work over the course of the season. We're excited to see who comes out on top, each one having a chip on their shoulder.
Well, although they just at the last second able to qualify, I feel like Coastal Carolina has treated the past weekend as a single elimination format. They will continue to try to swing a hot bat, and when you talk about their bats, you talk about the barrel belonging to the Australian and Georgia Hood.
Hey, how could you not? Georgia Hood, we'll see her at first base here today, but what we love the most about her is that she has tremendous power. She's currently leading the Sun Belt Conference with 21 long balls, and hey, we're taking a look at this highlight package here. She can hit the ball off the plate for a home run. It's hard to pitch around her.
If she can conquer that outfield wall just 2 more times this week, she will tie the program's all-time mark for most home runs in a season. Again, the 5th year recognized this week, first team all-conference in the Sun Belt. Same was true for Georgia Southern's Emma Davis.
A bit of a different look here. She's really going to have that line drive power. She has 15 doubles so far on the season, so she can hit the gaps. She's going to continue to keep the defense guessing and, of course, attack the zone.
Well, she was so consistent all year long, but even better within conference play, hitting .426. In fact, hit 8 for 11 just this past weekend. It's the 7th seed Eagles, the 10th seeded Chanticleers when you rejoin us. Opening pitch in the opening round of the Sun Belt Championship. The 2026 Sun Belt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sun Belt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. First anthem in the books. Let's get you the starting lineup for the two squads. First up for your visiting team today as the number 10 seed, that being, again, the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. And we talked about packing a punch. You're not going to have to dive very deep into this lineup, Jenna, before you see some home run power with Delaney Keith leading things off.
Delaney Keith, she's a professional, always brings that solid presence at the plate, but let's not be shy about batters 1 through 9. They are a threat in a multitude of ways, especially with speed when they're on the base paths.
Kelly Green, again, in her 17th year at the helm, the former standout in her playing days at Northwestern, as they will be facing Elena Barnard in the circle for Georgia Southern. She gets the nod in this, again, single elimination format in the Sun Belt. You take a look at her numbers this year, and of course, she's a homegrown product out of Statesboro.
When it comes to Elena Barnard, we are most likely going to see a change in speeds in mixing locations. She's taking on a lineup here that's struggling to find consistency at the plate, so as she continues to keep them off balance, she's going to utilize plenty within her arsenal.
Again, 10 teams qualified in the Sun Belt this week. Coastal Carolina, your 10 seed, but I feel like for them it's a little bit of deja vu after their majestic run last year through this tournament. You take a look at the defensive alignment that surrounds Barnard there, with Combs completing the battery. Tig, Thames, Christensen, and Queen in the infield from left to right. Bilbrey, Davis, and Kell patrolling the outfield. Let's take a look at your keys to this matchup, of course, with a season and championship hopes all on the line. No big deal.
When it comes to the Georgia Southern side of things, their goal is going to be to barrel up balls. Again, they've been lacking in consistency. They've had top producers. They've seen some spurts, but they need it all from 1 through 9. On the Coastal Carolina side of things, pitchers need to hit their spots. They learned that last weekend, so as they continue to mix their speeds, find different spots, hopefully they'll be able to find success.
What a storied venue this is for this sport. In recent years, we've seen it host regionals. Over the years, of course, it's been a great home for crowning champions in the Sun Belt. This is the 7th time that Lamson Park, the site of the inaugural championship back in 2000, has served as the host site for this tournament. And we mentioned last year's the Chanticleers, the last team standing, punching their ticket into the NCAA tournament when they knocked off, it looked like another Cinderella squad in JMU on that final day. So Delaney Keith leads things off against Barnard, trying to set the tone with Hood, and we talk about her bat on deck. Keith, second team all-conference this year, the senior out of Idaho. Her 53 career home runs have her 3rd all-time in this program's history. 49 doubles as well. So much extra base production, putting herself in scoring position for her teammates in the on-deck circle over the years. The 2-0 from Barnard. And have to imagine Keith will keep that bat on her back shoulder.
You can see there Barnard's trying to work her low and away. She knows this is a barrel that does not want to meet her ball. It gets a little scary at times. We know that Keith is truly a display of power, speed, and ability to get on base. So she's going to try to keep as far away as she can.
Needs a strike, can't get it. It's a 4-pitch walk. The free pass to begin things here for the Chanticleers as Keith is on.
Delaney Keith is always unfazed whenever she steps into the batter's box. She is quite patient. You can see she was laying off that outer half. She knew that it was not going to work its way into the strike zone. It's always that guessing game for pitchers, figuring out what's going to be happening behind the plate. What are the umpires going to establish? But today, Keith comes out on top, drawing the walk.
See one of the new faces on this staff, Courtney Radke, in her first year as the pitching coach with Georgia Southern. Former pitcher in her own right back at UNF. And you have just given a free pass to the batter who is in the lineup before Georgia Hood.
Yeah, it's always a little detrimental when Keith is able to get on base before Hood, which happens quite often with this 1-2 punch. We talked about it in the open here for Georgia Hood. She can even hit the ball off the plate for a home run. So I'm curious to see how Barnard is going to try and attack.
So the leadoff hitter, second team all-conference. Your 2-hole hitter Hood, first team all-conference. Doesn't get any easier for Barnard in the circle here to begin this first round matchup. Five pitches, none of them have found the strike zone just yet. Keith on the base paths, 9 stolen bases in 10 attempts. With that said, don't believe they'll try to gamble too often when you've got Hood at the plate with the bat in her hands. This one shot down the line. That's a fair ball off the bat of Hood, and you've got 2 aboard with nobody out to begin things for the number 10 seed.
Georgia Hood is a player that you know is always going to get the job done whenever she steps into the batter's box. She is patient, and we could tell the ball wasn't even necessarily in the sweet part of the barrel, but she's still able to drive it with power, trying to work that one in on her pull side.
So only third base now unoccupied as you get another look. With nobody out, Bree Normandin, the 3-hole hitter. Junior from San Clemente, California. Able to square out and put the bunt down on the first try. Well done with the sacrifice as both Keith and Hood will advance 60 feet, now one away. Only option for Georgia Southern was ultimately retiring the batter, Normandin.
Normandin gets the job done as well. Queen we saw stretching over at first base to make sure she gets the ball in her mitt. But this is a dangerous situation, especially if you're Georgia Southern. This is a lineup that is threats 1 through 9, so they have to capitalize and hit their spots.
Is the 4-hole somewhere between 1 and 9? Because that's Kaylin Cash, who's also first team all-conference this year, is the DP. Pops this one over towards right. Is it deep enough to test the arm? As Coastal Carolina will score the opening run of the weekend here in Lafayette. So the leadoff free pass comes back to already bite the Eagles here in the top half of the first as Delaney Keith comes home on the sacrifice fly from Cash.
You can't make mistakes while you're in the circle taking on a lineup like Coastal Carolina. For Delaney Keith, already coming in with 9 stolen bases on 10 attempts. She's going to get you with her power. She's going to get you with her plate discipline, but she's also going to be ready to rock if you see a short fly ball out and right. The exact situation happened. So far, 1 run in for Carolina.
Brooke Kell had a nice throw from out there in right field. It was on line, but that's a lot to ask of her with the speed of Keith coming home. Here's McKenna Metzger. Already the 5-hole up, but now with 2 outs. And a runner on third. And the count will even up here as Barnard facing the 5th batter in this lineup for Coastal Carolina.
Nice off-speed pitch there. She's trying to work back in with pitches that feel quite comfortable to her. As we can tell, so far this outing hasn't swung her way.
Over to the left side, the shortstop, Thames, able to come through. That will deny the insurance run, but Coastal Carolina able to strike a leadoff walk that ultimately produces a run, courtesy of the sac fly from Kaylin Cash. When we come back, it's the Eagles grabbing the bats for the first time here in Lafayette. Heading into the home half of the first as Georgia Southern trying to make their way back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since back-to-back trips in 2012 and 2013. We'll see if this is the lineup for Sharon Perkins to get the job done this week.
Coach Perkins made the comment that there have been a few top performers mixed in within this lineup, typically sitting top heavy. There has been a few spurts where players are able to engage, able to put the ball in play, but she wants to see threats 1 through 9, similar to what Coastal Carolina has been able to achieve.
Again, Sharon Perkins in her 5th year at the helm of Georgia Southern. She actually played her final collegiate game here on this campus against Louisiana. Again, bringing back some memories. She'd like to make a new memory along with her current batch of Eagles. Kate Ryan will get the starting nod, and the first pitch she throws this week is going to be with a lead to work with.
Well, we're going to see some similar styles of pitching here to start off between these 2 aces. For Kate Ryan specifically, she's going to be working low in the zone. We'll see flashes of the curve, the screw, the drop, and try to change those speeds, incorporating some off-speed pitches.
Take a look at the defense that surrounds her. Ramirez behind the plate, Keith, Normandin, Baxter, and Hood in the infield. As again, already off and running, working with a lead, Kate Ryan facing Kayla Christensen. Christensen, the sophomore out of Palm Harbor, Florida.
We see there Ryan trying to work her inside. When it comes to a bat like Kayla Christensen, she's someone who has a balanced offensive profile with low strikeout totals, so I think it's great that she's making quick work, making it a 1-1 count. But let's see if Ryan can work in with some new stuff.
She'll inch ahead in the count, 2-1. Georgia Southern took the weekend series this year against Coastal Carolina. That included a doubleheader on one day. How about a diving snag? A little bit of a web gem early on here from Bree Normandin. One away.
Fielding that shortstop position, what she does so well, Normandin, is she has that nice range, back-to-back athleticism. She easily identifies that she has to get her mid out there as far as she can, trusts herself, falls to the ground, and shows that she has successfully made the out.
Shows it to Carlos Guzman, our third base umpire. To Rob Christensen, perhaps a chance to run the bases. That'll give way to Del Thames.
Thames is a part of that classic 1-2 punch. Christensen really earned that spot. She's someone who typically gets on base often. So for Thames, she's going to try and make it happen here for her team in Georgia Southern.
Thames, a 3-year starter at shortstop for Georgia Southern and the Eagles. And she's another Statesboro local product. Don't have to spend a lot of the recruiting budget with that private flight to her neighborhood. Just mistimes that one straight back to the backstop.
Already this poses a bit of a challenge here for Kate Ryan. When we take a look at Del Thames' stature, she's quite taller than Kayla Christensen, so she's a batter that's going to propose that you have to pitch to her. She's trying to work a little higher in the zone, deal with the height, and so far trying to find what works.
Base hit here would move her north of 300 on the year. And she's at the plate with one out. This is after, again, Christensen was robbed of possibly a base hit when Bree Normandin went diving and snagged one, narrowly keeping it off the infield dirt. A 3-1 offering here to Thames. Represents the tying run early here at the plate. Not tempted by that one, a 5-pitch walk with one away. First base runner for the Eagles. Tying runs aboard here in the first.
Del is always a part of the lineup that you continue to study. She is a massive threat. Currently team high actually with a over 107.8 OPS. Someone that's going to continue to get on base, a bit of a physical hitter as well, but already getting the job done. Runner aboard.
Sharon Perkins surpassing 400 career wins this season. At 13 returners, 9 newcomers, only 1 transfer brought into the Eagles program. Great consistency. So tying run on first. All-conference center fielder Emma Davis at the plate, trying to erase this early deficit. Sharon Perkins actually says that Emma Davis reminds her of her own daughter, who she coached years back.
That is quite the compliment there for Davis. Truly shows that she is a leader.
Davis coming off a 2-home-run weekend against Georgia State. This one in play. And on a bang-bang play, they will get the out at first. That will move Thames with 2 outs down to second. Still your potential tying run.
At the end of the day, Davis is going in and getting the job done. You just have to advance the batter, try to put the ball in play. Runner currently aboard on 2.
All right, so the burden on Braylon Queens to extend things here with 2 outs in the first. First pitch from Kate Ryan as Izzy Ramirez has her eyes on the base runner down at second. But if they can retire Queens, they'll have a chance to look for insurance next inning.
The sophomore Braylon Queen has truly earned this spot as the cleanup. She capitalizes with runners on base. So far, 22 runners batted in over the course of the year.
Well, you talk about stepping up. Braylon Queen's done exactly that as your first baseman. Was really a backup catcher for this program. But with her bat, it's been hard to keep her out of the lineup now. It's found a nice home in the infield. This one down the line, that's going to be just foul.
I like where Queen is currently standing in the box. She's working back, she's crowding the plate a little bit, trying to ensure that she can overextend her barrel, get to tough spots, because she loves that pull side pop.
She has fond memories of that weekend against Coastal Carolina, hit her first career home run. If she finds another one here, it's going to be a 2-1 lead for the Eagles. The 1-2 to Queen. Got it. That will do it for the first inning. Kate Ryan, entrusted with a 1-run lead, gets the start today with the season on the line. They can go back to the dugout, look to add some insurance here in Lafayette. We're at the home of the Raging Cajuns this week, of course, here at Yvette Girard Field at Lamson Park. 200 down each line, 220 to straight center. A lot of memories over the years been made on this grand stage, whether it be the New York Yankees of the Sun Belt, the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana, and all of their titles. Of course, Coastal Carolina last year became just the 5th different program to ever win a Sun Belt tournament championship. Louisiana with 18 all-time tournament crowns, by far the most decorated program we've seen over the years. South Alabama's won 3, Texas State has won a couple. On to the second inning, with Coastal Carolina looking to add to their 1-0 lead. Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose with you, along with our great crew for the next few days here. Live coverage nonstop on ESPN Plus. Championship on Saturday on ESPN2.
I like seeing that Barnard is able to work back in with a first pitch strike. You could tell she was a bit uneasy throughout the course of the first inning. She had the time to sit, think about some things, and get ready to attack.
Libby Pippin among the seniors for these two teams who put on the uniform, never knowing if they're going to put it on again. Makes these postseason runs all the more special. You win, you get to gather with your best friends for another 7 innings plus tomorrow. And Barnard had that leadoff walk that cost ultimately the Eagles' last inning when Delaney Keith came home on the sac fly from Kaylin Cash with 1 out at the time. We saw 5 batters come to the plate for the 10 seed. Chanticleers. The 2-1 to Pippin. Over to the right side, Christensen. No sweat. 1 away. Might be a little sweat. We're in the mid-80s, and with the humidity, feels like we're in the low 90s.
Well, Elena Barnard's goal is to make sure that this opposing lineup feels the heat as they're coming out here today. For Barnard, that's something that she does very well. She'll induce soft contact, able to keep Pippin off balance there with the slight chopper over there to the right side.
Look at that, our crew right on top of things. Here's Izzy Ramirez. First pitch she sees off the pitcher, Barnard. Christensen will try to recover and does. It's a good old-fashioned 1-4-3 put out, 2 away. All smiles.
Hey, this is a comeback that you love to see here. You're making batters work. You're working them lower in the zone. Barnard trying to make the defensive play and the stop, but coming up there behind her was Christensen to help seal the deal.
See if Moira Baxter can extend things here out of the 8-hole today. Her first time to see Elena Barnard. First pitch down the middle for a strike called. Again, our home plate umpire is Johnny Paz, joined by Mike Thibodeau and Aaron Golden in the field. We mentioned Carlos Guzman down the third base line. Baxter began her career over at Iowa Western. I didn't know Iowa was big enough to have 4 cardinal directions, but she hails from Lincoln, Nebraska. where they are playing some pretty darn good softball these days. One of the top teams in the country, those Cornhuskers. A couple of ground outs from Pippin and Ramirez. And Baxter trying to extend things here in the second. Coastal Carolina did strand one runner on third base last inning. This one will carry out towards the warning track and just over the outstretched glove of Bilbrey. It is extra bases with 2 outs for Moira Baxter.
Moira Baxter, cool, calm, and collected. This is exactly what her team needs to try to continue to push the envelope. Barnard keeping that one a little too sweet over the plate. Baxter able to sit patiently, capitalize, and send that into the outfield deep. Bilbrey doing her best to get it in time. We also see that display of speed from Baxter every time she gets on the base paths.
So here's Clara Hudgens trying to extend things just as Baxter did a moment ago, the 9-hole hitter. And first pitch strike from Barnard. Just needs to retire Hudgens to get down to this inning and strand another Chanticleer in scoring position.
I'm excited to see the way that Baxter moves while she's on second base. She knows that this is a pitcher that induces a lot of soft contact. She knows that she's a part of a team that can really capitalize on balls if you miss your spots. So she's active and ready to go.
Left side, coming in was Thames. And this will be a play at the plate. Everybody's safe. Wow, just a worst case scenario defensively for the Eagles, who had their middle infielders pinched in. Otherwise, that is a routine out number 3.
Well, hold on. Baxter here gets the green light whenever she is on base. You see here, she sees the balls coming her way. She knows the shortstop's going to be tied, working glove side. But that just goes to show how aggressive she is. As she was turning third, she knew that she could get the job done and does just that, continuing to push this team forward.
And Hudgens finds herself now on second base after the Eagles throw it around but can't find that third out.
But that's what you have to do here in the tournament, Lincoln. You have to be aggressive and you have to pull some strings here that the team isn't necessarily anticipating. And with that, I don't think most of them would have thought she had the guts to round third and go straight home.
It's going to be a busy week for these 4 gentlemen, along with the rest of our umpiring crew.
I like the approach from Delaney Keith. This lineup turning over once more. 4 straight balls thrown her way, was able to draw the walk. Staying patient, watching the first pitch go by for a strike.
They did give Hudgens a single. So 2 hits with 2 outs this inning have already led to insurance for Coastal Carolina. They played Troy this past weekend. Troy only needed to win 1 game. They took care of that in game 1 to qualify. Coastal Carolina basically needed to win the next 2, and here they are. And both of those wins were walk-off victories. This one will carry out towards center, but coming in, able to make the sliding effort, Emma Davis, to finally put an end to the top of the second inning, but not before Coastal Carolina doubles their lead.
Emma Davis showing why she's the one patrolling center field, making that diving catch seem easy. We'll be back with some more Sunbelt action after this.
Reminder to enter for your chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. You can enter now at sunbeltsports.org. We had a chance to talk to all the coaches coming into this week. Several of them were looking forward to this, praising the efforts they see from Louisiana whenever they host events here. We mentioned Louisiana, very familiar to hosting some big softball events, including regionals on this field. Kelly Green, we mentioned the veteran head coach, 17th year at the helm. By the time she graduated from Northwestern, was the all-time hits and RBI queen on campus. Of course, before her nearly 2 decades here, 10 years with Division II Lock Haven, including a couple of Division II national championships with that program. So Eagles find themselves down by 2, your 7 seed this week. After going 13-11, they actually finished tied for 5th in conference, but tiebreakers have them as the 7th seed. That's tough because the top 6 teams all got byes this week. We'll see 4 teams today. The next 6 will rear their heads tomorrow. Just now working our way through the Eagles lineup still for the first time. Val Combs, the 5-hole hitter, your catcher, facing Kate Ryan, who faced 1 more than the minimum with a walk of Del Thames last inning, though would strand that runner. Combs over left side. Keith. 1 away.
Valerie Combs coming into this game, you can see that she was just rolling over her hands, was able to top the ball. It was a bit of a hard chopper. However, they were able to get the out over from 3.
That'll give way to J.C. Bilbrey, freshman out of the state of Tennessee. Not her first time, though, to play for Sharon Perkins. She was on a 14U travel ball team coached by Coach Perk.
J.C. Bilbrey does bring a professional presence with her whenever she goes up to the plate. Really plays that supporting role well at this point in the lineup.
With the right side, but it'll be well foul before Georgia Hood tracks it down. Georgia Southern looking for their first softball tournament championship since they were members of the SoCon. They've claimed that title on 5 occasions, including back-to-back years, 2012 and 13. Those were their last 2 years to move on to the NCAA tournament, where Chanticleers ended their own drought from 2012 last year. And as this ball picked up in foul territory, Bilbrey will see another pitch.
One of the primary focuses here for Georgia Southern is the fact that they've had a hard time capitalizing 1 through 9 throughout the order. And so far we've been seeing that reflected. We've seen a strikeout, a couple of groundouts. So really a point of emphasis to try to get the barrel on the ball.
Normandin able to retire now, the 4th straight batter for Georgia Southern, 2 away here in the 2nd inning. This after the Chanticleers found insurance their last time at the plate. Able to double their edge here in a single elimination format in this first round.
If you're Coach Green here with Coastal Carolina, you are very pleasantly happy with what is happening here in the circle. So far, some great production from Ryan.
Demery Gray at the plate. We saw her hit her 2nd home run of the year this past weekend for the freshman against Georgia State. But she's really been coming in clutch over the past couple of months, finding her stride as your DP for the Eagles.
She has a very authoritative presence when she comes into the box. You can see by her stature and her height. She is somewhat aggressive, and sometimes that can come back to bite her, maybe swinging at pitches that aren't of quality, or someone who's just ready to rock and roll when singles really get the job done.
Remember Coastal last inning, it wasn't until 2 outs were already recorded that they began a little bit of a rally to find that insurance run. Let's see if the Eagles can produce here with 2 outs in the bottom third of their order. Gray, Tig, and Kell, the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters today. The 1-2 to Gray. Shot right back up the middle and through, and sure enough, it's a 2-out base hit. First hit of the week here in Lafayette for the Eagles.
Georgia Southern just needs one catalyst to provide that spark, because hitting is contagious. You see there that Gray is able to work low in the zone. She gets a little bit ahead of herself, but like we said, she is aggressive, and that's displayed in her power, sending that one straight up the gap.
So that allows Samira Tig to swing the bat here in the second inning with a run on first and 2 outs. That one squeezed in by Ramirez for a first pitch strike.
This is a good spot of the order for Tig to be in. She's someone that's a contact hitter. She's going to put a lot of balls in play, a lot of singles. So truly, this could work out well with a runner on first.
And we mentioned Georgia Southern won the weekend series earlier this year in March. One of those days was a doubleheader that happened to be Coach Perkins' birthday, and would they get her 2 wins on the same day?
A gift.
This one fouled down the first base line. The all-time series, 22 wins for Georgia Southern, 22 wins for Coastal Carolina. And somebody will get the ultimate tiebreaker today by ending the season for the opposition. Just 2 games today. We'll have our 8 and 9 seeds up next, including the host this year, the Ragin' Cajuns. The 1-2 to Tig. This will have a chance to get down. What a snag! Moira Baxter will put it into the second inning. Backtracking and the extension to glove it for out number 3.
That was an incredible play. Tig was able to get her barrel on the ball, but working back, jumping over the lip of the grabs to make the grab is Baxter, coming out victorious. And just like that, we'll be bringing some more Sun Belt Conference softball after the break.
On to the third inning, as yesterday it was made official, your 2026 Sun Belt Conference individual award winners and all conference teams. Congratulations, Sydney Burko, in what was a competitive field for Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. What does she do? She comes out and she sweeps both of the top honors. Madison Azua of Texas State, able to be the top arm in the Sun Belt this year. Haley Hart, what a freshman campaign it was right here in Lafayette. And of course, Molly Fickner leading ULM to the regular season crown and the #1 seed this week.
There's some pretty tough competition all across the Sun Belt Conference. Congratulations to each and every one of these players, and of course, for Coach.
And we will be seeing all of them this week. We're gonna have a new pitcher for Georgia Southern here. Again, season on the line. As it'll be Bailey Holland, the senior.
Now, when it comes to Bailey Holland, what you're going to see from the right-hander is the fact that she's not too flashy.
And this one, a line out. Boy, one pitch to Georgia Hood, you get an out, you'll take that return on the investment.
No, you most certainly will. What I was going to add about Bailey Holland is that when she continues to pound the strike zone, she's not shy when it comes to letting players get their barrels on balls. She trusts the defense behind her, but she's not going to necessarily blow you away with speed. So I think this is a really great tandem here, switching out Barnard, bringing in Bailey Holland for a completely different look.
After Hood had the single back in the first, here's Bree Normandin, who had the sack bunt. And you just talk about how critical it is to get a bunt down on your first try. Unofficially, just your percentage of success drastically dips if you can't get it down on that first effort. Really no opportunity for a sacrifice here, just trying to set the table with one out.
That one will come down and in against Bree Normandin, swinging a clean .363 coming into this game.
Georgia Southern, so many second-generation Eagles. Both of Holland's parents were alumni. Didn't get a lot of reps during the fall due to injury, but has been healthy all spring, which has been a great asset for them, the senior, her final year in the circle.
The coaching staff wasn't necessarily sure what they would be able to get out of her as they were working back in, getting her reps, running some drills. But truly, she's someone who continues to show that she's someone who can get the job done, coming in with 110 and a third innings of work so far. Obviously,
you're going to need multiple arms this week if you're going to win 4 games in 4 days to claim a tournament title in the Sun Belt and punch your ticket with that AQ to the NCAA tournament. The 3-0 to Normandin in their first strike. This is after it just took 1 pitch to retire Georgia Hood for the first out of the inning.
I like that Normandin was able to sit back and let that one go in for a strike. Sometimes you can be a little overzealous if you see something that you know you can get a good grip on, but she sits back and now count runs 3-1.
And there's a 1-out walk to Normandin, who gets to run the bases for the first time today. Second walk from a Eagles pitcher today. The other one yielded a run before the first inning was over. And this will give way to Kaylin Cash. Cash had the sac fly for the go-ahead RBI back in the first inning.
If you're Coastal Carolina, you're excited to be at this part of the order when it comes to Cash. She's someone who's similar to Coleman of Texas State, as we'll watch that one roll out.
Off the glove, and as a result, the middle infielders don't have a chance at it. And again, sometimes a pitcher is just too athletic for their own good. As the moment that ball deflects off the fingertips of the glove, no chance.
That was a hard hit ball. Nothing you could do as defense. You were getting ready. You saw the ball going up the middle. But kudos to Cal to fire it in quickly and try to keep these runners on corners.
So Normandin on second, Cash on first with 1 out. McKenna Metzger grounded out to end that first inning. And let's see if we have a change on the base paths here.
McKenna Metzger, when it comes to what she can do when she's at the plate, she's a classic run producer. She doesn't necessarily have the highest average, swinging .241 heading into the tournament, but she is big on home run and RBI numbers, so we're eager to see what she's able to do facing a different look from the circle.
Freshman Leah Kendall, obviously competing in her first conference tournament, your runner on first, and that will give her just enough of a margin to take 60 feet moments later. So she runs for Kaylin Cash as she advances to second, and that means Normandin down to third. All this with 1 out. Metzger already has a program record 6 sacrifice flies in a single season this year. This would be an opportunity for another, unless she wants to join them on the base paths. Only first base unoccupied. Up the middle, that'll get down and score at least 1. Normandin will come home. Holding up at third is the pinch runner Kendall. Runners on the corners, and the 10-seed Chanticleers have scored a run in each of the first 3 innings here in Lafayette.
When it comes to McKenna Metzger, she saw something that was above the plate. She knew she could get a hold of it and does so with power. It was a 2-0 count, so that just goes to show that she's a veteran. She's been in this position before and feels comfortable not letting another one go by. She'll bring the run around, and now we have another runner on third.
So after the first batter, Hood, was retired on that line out to the shortstop, a walk and a couple of singles, and this one will be pulled foul off the bat of Libby Pippin, who's 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Coastal Carolina threatening for their first crooked number in an inning, with Kendall the pinch runner on third, Metzger on first. Just 1 out.
Coastal Carolina will continue to apply pressure. They will continue to hit the gas. And I like what they've done so far, already taking this one a 3-0 game.
And Bailey Holland entered this inning in relief. This one punched out towards left. Could be trouble. It gets down. More insurance on the board. Trouble at the wall. But going from first to third is Metzger after Cash comes home, and Pippin in scoring position as well as she continues the hit parade.
We love a good invite to the hit parade there for Libby Pippin. She's someone that works so well at any part of the order because she has enough pop to hurt, and she put that on display right there, working up the left center gap. Trying to make the stop was Bilberry out in left field, but wasn't necessarily able to get the mitt on it. It's a hopper that provides time for a run to get pushed across already with an absolute bomb, courtesy of number 14.
A walk, 2 singles, and now a double factored in from Libby Pippin. That gives way to the bottom third of the order for Izzy Ramirez batting for a second straight inning.
If you can't hit your spots, this is a team that is going to hurt. Coastal Carolina continuing to add to the damage.
Now, one thing Georgia Southern did avoid was giving up the home run ball to Coastal Carolina in their 3-game series. But right now, Carolina just coming through with hit after hit after hit, and it's adding up.
You don't necessarily get a break when you face 1 through 9 here for Coastal Carolina. For Izzy Ramirez, she has some pop. We've seen 4 doubles, 3 home runs. Someone that can deploy solid quality hits as needed.
And winner of this will play the 2-seed Marshall tomorrow. Count 2-1 now to the backstop for the Chanticleers.
We've seen that Bailey Holland has gone up and away a few times, an increase in velocity. I feel as pitchers are trying to get back in the zone, maybe they have some of that extra energy to get out. That's where you'll see the ball start to run.
The 2-1. This one pulled, playable in left, but that's going to be deep enough to score Metzger. A 3-run inning and a 5-0 lead now for the 10 seed. Again, this is nothing new for them. Last year, they defeated Southern Miss, Marshall, Louisiana to make it to the championship game where they would topple JMU.
That was a quality at bat there by Izzy Ramirez. Almost able to get it over the wall, but able to get the job done, bringing a run across.
Here's Moira Baxter, who had the first of the 2 extra base hits today for Coastal. As Val Combs keeps that in front of her. The only base runner, though, that she's contending with is over there at third right now, Libby Pippin. And Baxter 1 for 1 today with a run scored, but that was facing Barnard last inning. Holland still in her first inning of work, facing her 7th. Chanticleer at the plate. After winning last year's conference tournament at Troy, Coastal Carolina would go on to the Duke Regional in Durham. Well, inside out, then foul ball down the right field line.
Over the course of the season, when you take a look at the arms that are in the circle for Georgia Southern, they've been heavily reliant on their 2 seniors, Elena Barnard and Bailey Holland. After that, Kaylee Croft has gotten the call a few times, giving a different lefty look, but for now, Holland's going to try to make sure that she can get out of this inning.
Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Holland could be a pitch away from getting her teammates back into the dugout. Georgia Southern has the benefit of being the home team today as the 7 seed. Runner on third. The 2-2 to Baxter. Coming in, the shortstop Thames. And there is out number 3, but not before Coastal Carolina able to get a 2-run lead to balloon to 5 as we head into the home half of the 3rd. Chanticleers back out in the field after they have established a lead and added to that lead each and every inning they've come to the plate. As Georgia Southern trying to find their first runs of the day, they're still working their way through the lineup for the first time against Kate Ryan. 9-hole hitter Brooke Kell set to lead things off. Then it's back to Kayla Christensen and Dell Thames.
For Georgia Southern, their job right now is to have those conversations in the dugout. Every single time one of the bats goes up to the plate, they've got to come back in and say exactly what they're seeing, courtesy of Coastal Carolina's Kate Ryan. She has been very successful in the lower part of the zone, and actually someone whose style mirrors McKenna Metzger. We haven't seen her in this game, but who knows, you may see later in the tournament, depending on how this one turns out.
Boy, Brooke Kell has come a long way in her time at Georgia Southern, the senior out of Marietta. She was forced into action really her freshman year for an injured teammate. That teammate would eventually get healthy, so all of a sudden you're battling for that gig the next couple of years, but has locked down the starting job here in her final year. And we mentioned for all these seniors, a little extra to play for, hoping to suit up with your teammates again tomorrow.
We've seen Brooke Kell come big in a lot of situations, but particularly that revolved around speed and small ball. So right now, being the first one at the plate to kick off this inning isn't necessarily a position she's always been in.
That'll get down foul out of the reach of Libby Pippin. Coastal Carolina brought 7 to the plate last inning, adding 3 more to their lead. I didn't check to see if it was Sharon Perkins' birthday again or not.
Well, there's always next year.
That one will make its way back to the backstop. No damage done with nobody on. Again, Kell leading off here out of the 9-hole. Georgia Southern found their first hit of the game last inning with a single from Demery Gray. They have stranded 1 each of the first 2 innings with Kate Ryan in the circle. The 2-2. And this one again off the glove of the pitcher, and there's no play to be made. So the 9-hole hitter, Brooke Kell, comes through. First leadoff batter today for the Eagles to get to run the bases.
For Kate Ryan in the circle, there's not much that she can do in that situation. A slapper coming at you hard, it's chopping up the middle. You do your best to get your glove down there. It's really hard, the reaction times of already having to release the ball. You're that much closer, a few feet closer actually to the plate, so it could be a scary situation. Kudos to any pitcher here in the Sun Belt.
So back to the top of the order, Kayla Christensen lined out to the shortstop last time around. Tries to stab at the bunt there. By the way, once you get that ball in your glove, it was a good decision not to make that throw. Too often we see an infielder try to make that throw. You're not going to get the out, and what happens, it winds up going into foul territory, and you have that runner in scoring position instead of just the single for Kell. Over to the right side to Baxter. And with the, again, speed of Kell, there's no chance of even thinking about retiring her. She's down into scoring position with 1 away.
This is going to set the table now for Dell Thames, one of the 2 that really works well in tandem at the top of the order here. She's a physical hitter. It's a struggle to pitch around her at times, so eager to see what happens. She had that killer line drive that the shortstop made a phenomenal play for earlier by Normandin when we saw her in her first at-bat.
12 home runs for Dell, 45 RBI. Her 12 home runs are basically as many as all the other starters in this lineup combined for the Eagles. So this is a big obstacle to get past. In this 2-hole, she walked back in the first inning, but was left stranded on second. Trying to bring Kell home here. This one foul into the net. Last year for the Eagles, what a year that was offensively. It seemed like they rewrote the entire record book. That's when the sports information director for the program is really in your thoughts. Constantly deleting and updating throughout the year. Runner on second is Kell with 1 out. Strike call advances the count to 1-2.
So far for Coastal Carolina, they've been able to execute on their game plan. Kell being the lone runner to be able to kind of weasel their way in over at second base, but that one's going to go into the outfield.
That one is going to drop. Kell down to third, but with that ball in left center, doesn't even flirt with going home. You've got runners on the corners with 1 out. All right, let's see if the Eagles can put up a crooked number here. and start chipping away at a 5-run deficit after Coastal Carolina put up 3 in the top half of this inning.
This is the exact situation you want to be in with Georgia Southern. You've already seen this pitcher once. Kate Ryan in the circle for Coastal Carolina. Emma Davis, one of the stars when it comes to the bats here for Georgia Southern, is ready to go. She's a table setter and has runners on the corners to work with.
All the coaches down to their respective dugouts, whether it be to talk to their defense or to their base runners and batters. Fourth batter of the inning is going to be Emma Davis for Georgia Southern. That's the concern. Again, the all-conference standout for the opposing Chanticleers with 2 on and 1 away.
Davis came into this game with a team-leading batting average of .387, also ranks 4th in Sun Belt Conference for that exact stat.
Yeah, I mentioned in the open, she was even better in conference play, hit .426 against conference foes, including last weekend against Georgia State. This confirmed for me that this is good. 8 of 11 in addition to multiple free passes.
You know, I'd have to sit down, look at the stat sheet a little bit, but I'd say that's pretty good there, Lincoln.
Thank you for the affirmation.
Anytime.
3-hole hitter Emma Davis, who grounded out back in the first, 0 for 1 today. Runners on the corners. Kate Ryan again working with a 5-run lead.
Utilizing an off-speed pitch there to test the waters, but 1 ball, no strikes.
And just can't frame that. Ramirez behind the plate. Mentioned Eagles back-to-back NCAA tournaments back in 2012 and 2013. Their first dance was back in '06, the first of their 3 trips to the NCAA postseason. And they're going to go ahead and throw down. And let's see, indicated whether it was an illegal pitch or whether it was obstruction. Either way, you've got runners, 2 of them now in scoring position with Kellen Thames. It is a 3-0 count. Inclined to think it was an illegal pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded.
Well, we've been talking about Emma Davis's prowess so far as she steps up to the plate, able to walk there. Lincoln, as you just previously mentioned, confirmed that was an illegal pitch. So runners will stand.
Now remember, a few years ago, they were a little bit more liberal with the rule. They do allow you to leave the ground. You just can't replant before you fire the pitch home. That's where the true advantage is gained for the pitcher. And they thought Ryan did exactly that. So Kell on third, Thames on second. Emma Davis joins them after the walk. Here's your cleanup hitter, and this is what the job description is. See if Braylon Quinn can bring home some teammates. This will get through, and the Eagles are on the board as they will plate a pair and have 2 more waiting in the wings in scoring position. A 1-out, 2-run double for Braylon Quinn.
Like you said, Lincoln, it's in the job description for Braylon Quinn coming in as a cleanup batter. She is so trusted, and she capitalizes with runners on base, and she's able to do just that. Already bringing around 22 before entering this game. Isn't shy. She really has that line drive ability. Clean hit. Normanton did her best to get her mid up there, but couldn't get it.
Well, Georgia Southern's one of the best in the conference in turning double plays, but no traditional threat of a double play ball here, with first base unoccupied. Let's see if that's it for Kate Ryan. Look, the leash is that much shorter when it's a single elimination format. As we welcome you to the Sun Belt Conference Chess Tournament.
Coastal Carolina definitely has a few arms that they could work with, but one of the gaps that they had to fill this year, we talked about Nicolette Picone previously, the senior that was able to carry them through the tournament last year, who was an absolute workhorse, even entered postseason play with over 150 strikeouts. So they've had to make a few adjustments. They've had to make sure that they're bringing pitchers in, trying to make sure they're hitting their spots, getting those reps in, mixing speeds, and that's what we're about to see here.
Abby Henderson, 125 innings under her belt this year. Will come in with a 7-14 record, inheriting what's a 5-2 scoreline at the moment. See her numbers on the season.
Abby Henderson is going to provide you with a completely different look. She works hard and throws hard. She'll typically sit around 67 miles per hour. Sometimes she'll graze 69. So you've got that increased velocity coming your way. So this group has to sit back, readjust, have some conversations, and get ready for some fast hand-eye coordination.
Georgia Southern threatening, still with 2 in scoring position. Val Combs, who grounded out to lead off last inning, is the first batter who will see Abby Henderson. Right now just trying to time up her swing with the first arm out of the bullpen for the 10 seed. 3 hits already this inning for Georgia Southern.
Coastal Carolina is trying to ensure that they are stopping any momentum that has been able to happen here in this inning for the Golden Eagles. And doing so with Abby Henderson, putting her out in play, I think is a great decision on their end.
And won their first Sun Belt Conference tournament last year. And I mentioned probably last weekend felt like it was already a single elimination format. Every day was a must-win for them, and we've already got a little bit of color on that right elbow for Abby Henderson. A little ominous beginning.
Well, she's surrounded by her teammates. You see a couple of smiles and laughs there, so you know that everything's good. Eagles here are trying to reset there, as you can see, having a conversation, a few head nods, ready to lock back in.
And Val Combs is the 6th batter of the inning now for Georgia Southern, who entered this bottom of the 3rd trailing by 5. Last year, Georgia Southern 1 and done, fell to then the 4 seed ULM. This year, ULM, of course, the number 1 seed. First pitch from Henderson. Be a 1-0 count to Combs.
I like the mentality of working low in the zone. Also just a completely different look. We talked about the differences in velocities between Kate Ryan and Abby Henderson, but just looking at the pure presence, standing at 5'10" compared to Ryan's 5'3". Completely different delivery that you're seeing there in the circle, and a different arsenal.
Brooke Kell and Del Thames have already scored this inning, both singled here in the 3rd. Emma Davis with a walk is over on 3rd, and the 2-run double for Queen has her right there on your picture in scoring position as well. Combs opposite field, but this will knock it out of the infield, and that means the runners have to hold. Baxter squeezes it in, 2 away. And now the Eagles can just focus on getting the final out and hope to get out of this inning with no additional damage done.
Excellent work by Henderson. That's truly all you can ask for. You're trying to set the table. If barrels are able to get around balls, you want to make sure that they're at the very least some soft contact, some high flies. Just allow your defense to work and do what they do best.
Bilbrey 0 for 1 with a pop out to the shortstop last inning. The pitch just off the mark. 7th batter this inning, after they brought 4 to the plate each of the first 2, but would strand their lone base runners on each occasion. Neither starting pitcher in this ball game anymore. After eventful 3rd innings, that'll do it. The 3rd out secured by Norman Dinn. It'll strand 2 more Eagles in scoring position, so Coastal Carolina still hanging on to a 3-run lead. We'll look to reclaim some insurance when you rejoin us here in Lafayette. Well, again, such an incredible year, and these were some of the highlights as we talk about the first team all-conference announced yesterday, of course, for Georgia Southern, Emma Davis, and for Coastal Carolina, a pair with Kaylin Cash and Georgia Hood.
There's a lot of big bats when you take a look at some of these headshots here, taking a look across different teams. It's going to make this tournament so exciting, and especially for some of the players that we see here like Cash, Hood, Davis, as they're sprinkled throughout here for the all-conference first team. They're truly at the top of the order, a little bit bleeding into the heart, just really batters that can pound balls and do some damage when they can get barrels around.
On to the fourth inning, already a third different pitcher. This is Kaylee Croft for Georgia Southern after their bat showed some life this last half inning. Let's see if she can work the first perfect inning in the circle. Croft, the freshman out of Moreland, Georgia. What did she do? She picked up her first career win as a freshman against 25th ranked Clemson earlier this year. No stage too big.
She's truly a player that elevates her game to meet the moment, also giving a completely different appearance as a left-handed pitcher. So far, we've seen two righties, both seniors, that have taken a brunt of the work over the course of the season. They didn't want Kaylee Croft to feel baptized by fire. They wanted to implement her slowly. As you mentioned, there was an opportunity for her to come in, and she made her mark, now being trusted in the tournament.
Clara Hudgen pops up the bunt foul beyond the reach of Combs. Again, she had the RBI single back in the second, trying to bunt for a base hit here before we're back to the top of the order with Delaney Keith and Georgia Hood. 9-1 and 2-hole hitters due up. The area combined 2 for 4 with a walk and an RBI. As this again will get back to the net.
Clara Hudgens just pulling off of that one a little bit. It's really tactical that she's there in the 9th spot. Typically she helps extend innings. At this time, we're seeing her kick things off, but she gives a steady presence. She gives competitive at-bats, so she's really trying to hang in there now with 2 strikes.
Croft comes in, throwing strikes. Just as I say that, 1 and 2 for a little variety. And first of just 2 games today, tomorrow quadruple header. All games here on ESPN Plus these first 3 days.
When it comes to Croft, that changeup can be killer. She tries to keep bats off balance. You'll see her bring in some of the heaters and try to give you a different complexion for a steady diet of a variety of pitches.
The 1-2 from Croft. Hudgens able to lay off it. For Coastal Carolina, we've already mentioned it, biggest obstacle coming into this year is losing your ace, your Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year from last year, Picone. Wondering who's going to fill that void. This one could be trouble out and left, coming in and able to catch it with room to spare, J.C. Bilbrey. So after the leadoff batter walked in the first, Chanticleers have not been able to get their leadoff batter on since, though that hasn't slowed them down much.
Great play by Bilbrey out there in left field, running in, making sure her hand is over the ball. It's a little tough while you're on the move, trying to make sure that it stays in the glove, and she does just that.
Back to Delaney Keith, who led off the ball game with that walk and would ultimately score on the sac fly from Kaylin Cash. First of now 5 runs in 3+ innings for the 10 seed. Already coming up for a 3rd time. As again, we're seeing a 3rd different pitcher already for Georgia Southern.
Kaylee Croft trying to sample different parts of the strike zone. We've seen her work low, try to go inside, a little off speed and try to break off the plate there. Wants to make sure that she is missing the bat of Delaney Keith and not give her anything good to swing at. However, when it comes to Keith, she can get those barrels around balls.
I mean, you look at those numbers, there's a reason why you are trying to miss that bat. Not able to find strike 1. Again, while 12 home runs leads the team for Georgia Southern for Delaney Thames, that's just the 4th highest total for a player for this lineup. For the Chanticleers, this one fell. Coastal Carolina can put up some big numbers. We mentioned Georgia Southern. One of the things Sharon Perkins was proud of, not only winning that series this weekend, the weekend earlier this year in March, but not giving up the long ball. Chanticleers have found other ways to produce today. Keith out towards left. Bill Bree able to snag it. First two batters retired in order against our third pitcher of the day, Croft.
Always enticing to see what will happen when you have a lefty on lefty matchup there. Croft able to come out on top, but Delaney Keith putting up a great fight, sending that one to deep to left with some power.
2 outs, but this inning's far from over. Here is Georgia Hood. And her 21 home runs this year are 2 shy of tying the best single season for a Chanticleer power hitter. She only saw 1 pitch last inning with that line out to the shortstop. See if she's a little more judicious here. 2 outs, nobody on, as she faces Croft for the first time. And again, no damage done on a pitch like that with no base runners on.
Croft taking a breather there. You can tell that the wheels are turning as she's trying to figure out how she needs to attack this at-bat. She has an amazing staff behind her, continuing to help her out, let her know what would be the best to throw here, working with her battery mate behind the plate there, and Combs.
With 2 outs, the 1-1 from Croft. And Combs doing her best to help her out.
It's still early on, though, in the count, looking at 1-1 here. Georgia Hood presents herself in the box.
That might have been ball 3, but Hood liked what she saw, just couldn't get the barrel on it.
What's so fun about Georgia Hood is that she's not shy to swing on balls that are out of the strike zone. I think that says a lot about what she's able to accomplish, her mentality. She's always aggressive.
2-2 again, protecting the plate. Last year, Hood became just the second ever Chanticleer to be an All-American. Her 50 career home runs with the program. Mind you, she did not begin her career with the program, but her 50 home runs are already 4th most all time. Started at Pensacola State College. I gather there's a direct flight to Pensacola from Australia. This one, a shot out towards left, at the wall, and Georgia Hood strikes again. For a 22nd time, she'll touch them all. And tonight, it's with the season on the line.
Georgia Hood, now the official leader in the Sun Belt Conference with 22 home runs. You'll love to see it. What Georgia Hood does so well when she's in the batter's box is that she has a soft stride. Her front foot will act as a counterweight to her load that keeps her from lunging. And you can see she's sitting back on this pitch, sends it deep with power over the left center wall, and unable to make the catch was Emma Davis. I love the effort, but no way she would have been able to make that grab.
First team all-conference center fielder trying to rob the first team all-conference slugger. Would have been a sure SC top 10 moment, but Hood gets the better of the exchange, and it's on to Normandin. She scored last inning after her 1-out walk. Also has a sacrifice bunt today. As Coastal Carolina claws back one of those runs they conceded last half inning, they have scored every frame so far. And again with the home run, nobody on base. It's just Bree Normandin and her thoughts all alone out there on behalf of the 10 seed.
What Croft does so well in the circle is that she's able to hit the reset button. She was able to work back in quickly with 2 first pitch strikes.
0-2 offering from the freshman. That is foul down the line. Now today, I already regret starting off this sentence. Everything should stay on schedule with regards to weather. Now, if these two want to play 20 innings, so be it. Tomorrow is when typical conference tournament weather will start to factor in the month of May. It's when tarp crews earn their keep.
I wonder if later we can get a replay of you making this statement.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope we don't have to see it, but you never know.
It was that announcer, I think Rose was the name, who said it.
Yeah, tough to tell them apart.
And Croft, in her first inning of work, retired the first 2 batters, looking for that 3rd out. Instead, it's back-to-back 2-out base hits. This one stays in play. Normandin is on for a 2nd straight inning. This time a 2-out single.
Marie Normandin possesses elite contact whenever she's at the plate. I mean, you think about the strikeouts that she's had over the course of the season, only having 8. She consistently puts the ball in play and did so with a little bit of pop out of the barrel.
So that'll make way for your cleanup hitter, Kaylin Cash. Sac fly in the 1st inning, singled. Ultimately, her pinch runner would score in the 3rd. And she re-entered, of course, 14 home runs this year, 35 RBI. Reason for the pause, she is just now re-entering. Obviously, with the DP, it's not quite as urgent to get her back into the ball game until her next plate appearance. Run on first to away, and the good times continue. From 1st to 3rd will go Normandin. 3 straight hits with 2 outs. A home run and a pair of singles.
What's so fascinating about Kaylin Cash is if you take a deep dive into her numbers, she has 34 RBIs despite limited opportunities. She's someone who's going to continue to send the ball with power. She's going to make movement happen on the base paths, and just there, setting a position up now for corners.
Here's McKenna Metzger, who had an RBI single last inning, and there's no running for Cash. You've already subbed her out once. Normandin, the runner on 3rd. Would like to turn that 6 to a 7 on the scoreboard. If Metzger can extend things here, or perhaps with a wild pitch or a pass ball. Not a lot of foul territory behind the plate, but depending on which way the ball caroms, it might be worth sending the runner.
One thing we know about Coastal Carolina is that they are aggressive, so it's never out of the ordinary.
1-1, fought straight back, and all of a sudden, Kaylee Craft in her first inning of work could be a pitch away from getting out of this inning with just that 2-out blast from Georgia Hood being the only damage.
And we have to mention, too, we're so impressed by the freshman coming in, really bringing that stature and professionalism. We wouldn't think that this is her freshman year.
Strikeout of Metzger, there's your 3rd out. It strands a pair of Chanticleers, but not before Georgia Hood does what Georgia Hood does.
Georgia Hood, she's the engine of this team, ready to rock and ready to rip. Beautiful homer to begin some competition. We'll be back after the break.
Back in Lafayette again, we showed you the first team and the individual award winners. Congratulations to our all-conference second team as well. Again, we will see the bulk of these faces today and tomorrow, including Delaney Keith and her Chanticleer is off to a great start so far.
Hey, the Coastal Carolina Blue stands out amongst a sea of colors here. Congratulations to all the athletes portrayed.
And the teal well represented. Of course, our hosts, including Mia Liscano. And Megan Brown doesn't know anything other than winning regular season titles here this year. Again, we'll get a chance to see them all throughout the week. But right now, the simple question is for one of these two teams is, will they play tomorrow and continue that quest, needing to win 4 games in 4 days, move on to the NCAA tournament?
If I know one thing about the game of softball here, Lincoln, it can go anyone's way at any time. All it takes is one solid hit.
Here's Demery Gray, the DP who singled back in the second. Coastal Carolina stranded a couple more runners. They've left 5 on today. Georgia Southern has left 4 on, including 2 last inning, both in scoring position. 7, 8, and 9 hole due up this inning as they face Henderson out towards left and snagged by Pippin, 1 away. So last inning still the only inning Georgia Southern has been able to get their leadoff batter on, and so far the only one in which they have scored. It's usually a successful correlation. Samira Tig in the 8 hole today. See what the sophomore can do against Abby Henderson. Abby Henderson got to see a lot, along with Kate Ryan and McKenna Metzger, even more work early in the year when their teammate Savannah Jones, who transferred in this year, had an injury limit her opportunity early on. This is the time of year that starts to pay off, you hope.
When we think back to the keys of the game, we know for Georgia Southern, they were trying to barrel up balls. Coastal Carolina pitchers really needed to hit their spots. We've seen glimpses and flashes of both being executed, but right now, Coastal Carolina on top purely for their dominance in the box.
Tig facing Henderson for a first time. Falls behind the count, 1-2.
Tig struggling there to sync up with the timing and working on the outer half of the plate. This will give Henderson some fuel as she approaches the rubber.
Georgia Southern had already scored their 2 runs in the 3rd. Henderson came in, retired the first 2 batters she faced, both with balls in the air, a pop out and a line out. Over to Bree Normandin, and then of course this inning a fly out to left. So she's helped retire the first 3 batters she has seen from Statesboro. And she'll add a strikeout to her resume. 2 up, 2 down.
We always talk about east-west pitchers, but when you're working up or low in the zone, that is the best way to try to avoid the swing, the plane of the swing, and doing that well as Henderson working in that drop, unable to get a hold of it there was Tig.
Gives away to the senior, Brooke Kell. Singled and scored last inning when she led off the 3rd with the base hit. Left side, slaps it over to Keith. They able to pick it, fire across, so fluid. That is a 3 up, 3 down inning for Abby Henderson and this defense behind her. As Coastal Carolina has scored every inning, they'll look to continue that trend in the top of the 5th. It's been a fun lid lifter so far here in Lafayette to begin our 4-day journey to crowning a champion in the Sun Belt Conference. As Coastal Carolina struck early and often, Georgia Southern's 2 runs both came in the 3rd. Coastal has led by as many as 5. That lead right now at 4. They'll look to add to it here. Libby Pippin today, an RBI double in the 3rd, along with a ground out, 1 for 2. Lincoln Rose, along with Jenna Rose, along with our great crew. We'll be seeing a lot of the same faces over the next few days. Always look forward to this time of year.
Kaylee Croft working high and outside, doing so against Libby Pippin, who's 1 for 2.
Pippin, Ramirez, and Baxter due up here in the 5th for a 3rd time today. This will be playable, likely in foul territory, and just as I say that, credit to Pippin, stayed in her lane, and as a result, it's going to get to see another pitch on what probably should have been a foul out.
You take advantage of every single moment when you're in the batter's box, and she does just that. That's her right to stay there, doesn't have to get out of the way.
One pitch later, the Eagles able to record the out. Christensen able to squeeze it in, 1 away.
For Kaylee Croft, anytime an out's recorded, that is a major win. Doesn't have to be pretty. It can be soft contact, a little pop fly such as that, but that means that batters aren't able to get a good hold of it. That was just at the very end of Pippin's bat.
Your catcher, Izzy Ramirez, had a sac fly 2 innings ago. 0 for 1 today officially with an RBI. And the freshman out of Pearland, Texas, just south of Houston. That would make a much more reasonable commute for her family over here across the state line to Lafayette than perhaps Parents' Weekend over on the East Coast.
It has been really fun having these conversations with different coaches across the Sun Belt Conference and just hearing how supportive the families are as well as the communities.
This out of play, foul. Well, we talk about supportive communities. Obviously, we expect that to be a factor in our next game. Again, host sites are predetermined. It is not simply going to the campus of your #1 seed, so that's going to be a wild card benefit for the Ragin' Cajuns this week. There's a good excuse for the folks in Lafayette to come out 4 straight days, perhaps, to see their Ragin' Cajuns.
Hey, talk about home field advantage. Earlier today, you went over the sizing of the ballpark. This is turf that they're most familiar with, so eager to see how that plays out later. But right now, we've got Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina and a free pass issued to Ramirez.
First time Ramirez gets to run the bases today with the 1-out walk. As you saw, Ragin' Cajuns are up next against Troy in our 8 versus 9 matchup. 6 of the 10 teams this week got a first-round bye and will begin their journey tomorrow, needing to win 3 games in 3 days. But there is something to be said if you can emerge a winner today and not use too much of your pitching. All of a sudden, you have a little momentum going. Able to bunt it down, and nobody able to cover first in time. Baxter absolutely surprises this infield. And with the element of surprise, they are now 2 on with 1 out.
Baxter testing the defense. I think she was a little surprised at the rise that the pitch had as it was coming in, elevated through the zone, but is able to get the job done. That is one of the hardest things to do. A little sneaky bunt. We love it.
So often you would tell a first baseman, in this case Braylon Quinn, you got to lead your teammate, but there's nothing more she could have done there. She led Christensen as much as was safe to do so. Otherwise, you're throwing that ball into foul territory and watching the base runners continue to make their way around the dirt. Just bad luck there after a well-executed bunt by Baxter.
For the Eagles, they just have to stop the bleeding, ensure that they're not letting any runs push across.
Here's Hudgens, 1 for 2 today, RBI single in the 2nd, had a fly out. Last inning to left field. She'll drop the bunt, barehanded, and able to get the out. Well done by Val Combs. 2 away. The sacrifice does advance both base runners.
Coastal Carolina, they're just going to continue to push and pressure this defense. They're back-to-back bunts. Able to get the first one down. We saw the speed over at first, but unable to get their foot there in time was Hudgens. But we honestly love to see it. This is a team that continues to rake when they're at the plate, but at the same time, they're going to manufacture runs or try to get that small ball in.
Ramirez is the runner on third, Baxter on second after their walk and single respectively. Keith at the top of the lineup is back at the plate for a 4th time in 5 innings. That's usually good news. As this one out towards right, Kell comes in, there's out number 3. 2 more runners stranded by Coastal Carolina, and for the first time, the Eagles defense post a goose egg in the top half. As the margin right now, they trail by 4 heading into the home half of the 5th inning.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com.
Quickly on to the home half of the 5th, of course, scheduled to play 7 as they renew the infield. Coastal Carolina's bats for the first time. I don't know if you would say shut down. They don't have runners cross home plate. They do strand a pair. You and I bumped into these women over in the New Orleans airport as they were touching down from West Virginia. As the Thundering Herd will bring those thundering bats to the plate tomorrow.
Hey, that's a great way to shake off some jet lag, right? A little bit of a dance party. They're getting in the vibes. Should maybe you and I do that during the next break?
I will not answer your question. I'll remind folks that 2nd seed Marshall will take on the winner of this game tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central. And look at how the stress is getting to Coastal Carolina.
Oh, yeah. It's really getting to them, you can tell. No smiles whatsoever.
All right, Abby Henderson again among the pitchers we've seen out of the bullpen today has been entrusted with a lead. Right now that lead at 4. Georgia Southern's only runs came in the 3rd inning. Top of the order for the Eagles with Kayla Christensen at the plate. A line out and a ground out so far today.
While Abby Henderson has that increased velocity, we'll see 67 miles per hour, maybe grazing 69. She's still able to pair that with movement on her pitches, so that always makes for a tough challenge in the box. But able to watch that one go by was Christensen.
Baxter at second, over to Hood, 1 away. And still only 1 Eagle has led off an inning reaching base. That was Kell, the 9-hole hitter, with a single back in the 3rd. 1 inning in which they did score a couple of runs.
Coastal Carolina has been keeping these bats in check, only able to push 2 runs across. Now it's going to be up to Del Thames to try and make some movement happen.
They've yet to retire Del Thames, a walk, a single, and a run scored today. She faces Henderson for her first time. And Delaney Thames, junior out of Statesboro, Georgia. She's made some fantastic plays this year defensively to help keep games close. Let's see what she can do offensively here. Not chasing that one. After this inning, all of a sudden you're talking about being down to your final 6 strikes, and we mentioned before she ever threw a pitch today, Abby Henderson was already dealing with a bloodied elbow that they're going to tend to before she throws her next pitch. I'm trying to remember what that prank was back in elementary school that know what we were trying to touch our elbow to.
I'm not sure I can relate to what's going on here.
I think that's common when you and I talk in general.
Yeah.
So they will tend to that.
Well, we know in the game of softball, it's already such a mental sport, especially as a pitcher. It feels at times that the weight is on your shoulders, so even something as simple as a Band-Aid that's not sticking, something that may be stuck in your cleat, you want to make sure you're feeling 110% before you throw your next pitch.
Subsequent pitch, a good one, a strike. Emma Davis on deck. Will get a chance to come to the plate here this inning. Will it be with a runner on and one out, or simply looking to extend the fifth with 2 away?
That pitch will veer off into the opposite batter's box. Del Thames trying to stay cool, calm, and collected there. As you mentioned, 1 for 1 with a walk and a single. Able to cross the plate for 1 of 2 runs for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, she was the most recent Eagle to cross home plate. Not this inning. Retired for the first time by Abby Henderson and her Band-Aid.
Babes is truly a power hitter. You can tell that was a home run swing, unable to get the bat on it. Henderson celebrating there in the circle. And like you said, Band-Aid staying on.
So Emma Davis just trying to extend things here with 2 outs. With Braylon Queen on deck. Queen had that 2-run double. Davis was ultimately left stranded on third back into the 3rd inning. Eagles dugout. Right now, your Emma Davis cheering section.
Hey, that's what you have to do. You have to rally together as a team, pour some love and energy to your teammates, especially bottom of the 5th with 2 down.
1-1, punched foul.
Henderson's been trying to work her outside during this at bat, so trying to get her barrel around it was Davis trying to work that way, unable to keep it fair.
And here at Yvette Girard Field at Lamson Park, of course, named in honor of the legendary coach, former coach here at Louisiana. Now it's one of her pupils leading the way. We'll see Coach Habits and the Raging Cajuns up next.
It's going to be a loud game. Like you said, home field advantage. Fans are going to be into it.
2 outs, nobody on here for Emma Davis facing Abby Henderson. Right back up the middle, coming in, all or nothing. And Hudgens will come up empty-handed with 2 outs. Davis over to third, and that's where she will reside with a 2-out triple.
A goal for Abby Henderson to stay in the circle was she can't leave anything over the heart of the plate. She's been trying to work on that outer half, and Emma Davis is able to take a hold of one that's right up the middle. I like the aggression from the center fielder in Hudgens. She's trying to ensure that they are stopping any potential opportunities, but no one's behind you in center field when one's coming straight away, so that opens the door. Georgia Southern with a runner on third.
All right, Braylon Queen. You've got a teammate 60 feet away to try to chip away at a 4-run deficit here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Queen was the last batter to face Kate Ryan before the pitching change to Abby Henderson back in the 3rd inning. It was Queen's 2-run double that ultimately sparked the change at the time. Can she find a couple more RBI here? Just 1 home run on the year, 22 runs batted in. And Thames and Davis have a combined 80 RBI coming into today. Davis moments ago with the triple. Does Queen wait for a strike? We still don't know the answer. 3-0. Val Combs on deck 0 for 2 today. Runner on third with 2 outs. The 3-0 offering from Henderson. We'll keep Queen right where she is.
Well, I think your question was answered there. She was just sitting back and waiting. That one was over the plate. Henderson trying to work her way back into this one, but Queen is ready to jump in with the hitter's count.
Back-to-back strikes from Henderson.
You can tell that Queen was a little caught off guard by that one. She was ready to take her free pass over to one, but count runs full.
First two batters retired in order for Davis's triple to center. Queen left side, this should do it. Normandin over to first, as again, Georgia Southern still has only found those 2 runs in the 3rd inning, and they'll be down to their final 6 outs. They are your home team today, so Coastal Carolina will look to give themselves as much of a pad, including up next in the 6th. This week, 2 home runs shy of tying the single season mark for Coastal Carolina, and as of the 4th inning, she's within 1 of the record.
Yep, she's all Sun Belt first team for good reason, but with that 22nd home run on the season, it's the 2nd most in a single season in Coastal program history. And the last time a Sun Belt player hit at least 22 homers in a season was in 2017 when Louisiana's DJ Sanders hit 29 and Georgia State's Megan Linham hit 22. So I think when it comes to Hood, she's ready to continue to try to add to that record book.
My next question has already been answered. Will they give her something to work with? First pitch strike from Croft, one of the 3 pitchers we have seen today for Georgia Southern. Croft came in to start the 4th. So she's now the longest tenured pitcher we've seen today.
There are a few other pitchers in the bullpen there that Georgia Southern can go to. However, they maybe only have 8 or 7 innings of work between them. So really, if we were to see another one come out, it'd be one of the 2 seniors. But Croft is able to hold her own. Again, if you're going to give a home run up to someone, it might as well be Georgia Hood, one of the best in the business.
Might as well be to Hood with nobody on.
Yeah, that too.
That was the case back in the 4th, and Hood looking to match Coastal history if she can go yard again this week, including right here. The first home run that Georgia Southern has conceded this year to Coastal Carolina. Right back to the glove of Croft. Look what I found.
Well, I think she might have just found a bruise there, Lincoln. That one was a rocket back up her way. You can see the relief in her physical reaction when the ball was caught, realizing, oh, okay, I'm still here, we're good. That's a split-second decision that she has to make, pure reaction. And look at that. Georgia Hood is so good at working balls back up the middle. It's just sent right back into the glove of the pitcher.
Second time Hood's been retired today, both on lineouts. They are just going to check to make sure she's okay. Smiling from ear to ear. So So Bree Normandin, the 3-hole hitter, up next. She's been productive every time at the plate. A sacrifice bunt, a walk, a single, and a run scored today. Comes up with 1 out, nobody on.
Croft is now going to have to come back from that adrenaline high. You think of smelling salts, might as well just have it be a liner courtesy of Georgia Hood. Comes in for a first pitch ball. Going to try to work her way back in.
6 runs on 10 hits today. That's Thames' ball, despite the range of Tig over there on the left side. 2 outs.
Working quickly with Thames over there at shortstop. I like that she works in the submarine throw, just making sure that she's making the throw on the move, getting it out of her glove as fast as she can to get the out.
Brings up Kaylin Cash in her 14 home runs this year. Sac fly and 2 singles today.
You could tell that Cash wanted it, but was able to hold off. She knew that she wouldn't be able to get in her load well, drive well, so she doesn't want to make a swing off balance.
5, 6, and 7-hole hitters are due up this next inning for Georgia Southern. They're down to their final 6 outs. Again, they are your home team by virtue of being the higher seeded team. Croft looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning.
She's going to take that one off the elbow guard. However, the umpire has something to say.
They'll keep her here.
Yep, getting ready in her swing. Doesn't do anything to get out of the way.
Yeah, and you only have to try to get out of the way when that ball's in what we basically call the river. And whether it's over the if it's over the plate, obviously it'd be a strike. But if it was flat out in the batter's box when it hits her, and no obligation to budge. But clearly that ball just nestled right off the plate.
Work out in Kaylee Croft's favor there as she sends that one down in the dirt.
I think you'd rather have that ball hit you from Kaylee Croft than the ball that hit Croft off the bat of Hood. Probably still stinging from it. They'll appeal down, did not go. As they ask our first base umpire, Mike Thibodeau.
Yeah, Cashier has been able to hold off on some swings. That's a bit of a tough call there. Looks like she's inching towards the line on that for a check swing.
Payoff pitch with 2 outs. This will stay in play over in foul territory and squeezed by Queen. It is a 3-up, 3-down inning to quickly get the Eagle Bats back to the plate. They have 6 outs perhaps remaining in their 2026 campaign if they can't find at least 4 more runs.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Back here in Lafayette, first of 4 straight days as we crown a Sun Belt Tournament champion. A reminder, ESPN is now home of MLB.tv. You can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLB.tv. Well, I know at least one member of the Rose family who's having to peel his eyes away from his favorite Cleveland team on MLB TV and the ESPN app to navigate elsewhere on the ESPN app to take in some Sun Belt softball.
Oh, wonder who.
That's bottom half of the 6th inning. Hello, Dad. Val Combs will lead things off out of the 5-hole, 0 for 2 today. A fly out and a pop out so far. These plate appearances now critical.
Yeah, Combs is the kind of player that has the opportunity to come up big in tough situations, and this would be the time. Count's currently 1-1, taking on Henderson. She's had an opportunity to see her a few times around, watch how her teammates handle her as well, but Count will run to 2 balls, 1 strike.
Combs, Bilbrey, and Gray, the minimum 3 due up. Henderson's faced just 1 more than the minimum over the last couple of innings. In fact, she's only allowed 1 base runner since she came in, with 1 out back in the 3rd. She's retired 8 of the 9 batters she has seen so far. And she entered that 3rd inning when Georgia Southern plated their 2 runs today.
Combs looking to stay alive there, tried to get her bat on it. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a good rip.
The 2-2 offering from Abby Henderson. The count goes full. In just last inning, we saw a full count. We have not seen many deep counts today.
No, I love the aggressiveness from both sides. Every batter's trying to get in and make something happen.
Payoff pitch to Combs, leading off here in the 6th. As time is called, took a little too long for Henderson to determine what the pitch was called for the liking of presumably Combs at the plate.
As a batter, you have to be the one in control of timing. Don't let the pitchers bowl you around.
Ball up the middle, gets through. It's Val Combs who battles and finally earns a leadoff single. The last time Georgia Southern got their leadoff batter on was the only time, and that inning yielded runs.
Henderson kind of going back and forth there with her battery mate, and Ramirez behind the dish. Wasn't too thrilled about where that pitch landed. I don't think she was able to hit her right spot. Didn't have the right break. And that's going to open the door for Georgia Southern to sneak on through. Combs now at first.
Combs snaps her 0 for 2 day. Bilbrey now looking to do the same, after she's been retired twice by the shortstop Bree Normandin. And let's see if they're going to run for Combs. Give the catcher's legs some rest and bring on some speed. It's going to be Kyla Maxwell. This is where you need not just fast runners, but smart runners. You're brought in, there's limited opportunities to make an impact in a game, and here you are, season on the line. Have to have heads-up base running.
Already Georgia Southern is at an advantage, not just with the change over there at first base, but also somebody working from the left side. That just gets you that much closer to first base when the ball is in play.
Again, that being J.C. Bilbrey. Emery Gray is on deck. There's a leadoff single by Val Combs, who gives way to the pinch runner Maxwell on first. 41st pitch in relief from Abby Henderson. Off the handle, gets through, whatever it takes. Eagles have gotten their first 2 batters on. Marshall into scoring position.
Great work by J.C. Bilbrey, staying aggressive in the batter's box. Wasn't a pretty hit, like you mentioned. It was kind of close on the handle there of the bat, but able to send it up the middle. No one's able to get a glove on it. Now quickly runners on first and second. If you're Georgia Southern, this is what you like to see, especially with Demir Gray coming up at the plate.
I said Marshall, obviously Maxwell, the junior, on second, with Bilbrey behind her at first. So a couple of batters have found their first hits on the day. Demir Gray's looking for her second, singled back in the second inning before flying out in the fourth. Bottom third of the order. And a big spot here as the Eagles still have all 3 outs this inning to work with.
Coming into this one for Demir Gray, her strikeouts are somewhat elevated compared to hits. She has 26 strikeouts on the season entering this one, 24 hits, but can come up with some timely pop, and this is that time.
This one pulled down the line, foul, as both runners will retreat back to their original bases.
Gray with 7 doubles and 2 home runs so far on the year.
And back-to-back singles so far from her teammates. See if she can join them. 1 and 2.
That's some great pitch placement there by Abby Henderson. I love that she was coasting down low in the zone. Felt like it was just scraping the knees.
Again, the DP, Demir Gray at the plate. Not chasing that one. Count evens up 2 and 2. This inning began with Val Combs battling a full count. Finally got a single. Maxwell running for her right there on second. Behind her, J.C. Bilbrey with a single as well. 2-2 from Henderson to Gray with nobody out.
With Abby Henderson, we'll see some of that east-west pitching will stay low in the zone, but every now and again, she's going to flash some elevated pitches. We've seen the rise back-to-back pitches that were up there. Laying off it there was Gray for the first one, but the second one tried to get her barrel around, resulted in a foul ball.
2 on, nobody out here in the 6th inning. 7-hole hitter, Demir Gray. And the count goes full to another batter here in the 6th.
Henderson with the shake of the head there. She was hoping that she had it locked in.
This one out towards right field. Metzger has it. There's your first out. And your pinch runner, Maxwell, has enough speed to take those 60 feet. Well done. Down to third. Meanwhile, Bilbrey has to hold it first.
Maxwell tags up, gets there easily with speed, courtesy of Gray. The sac fly over to right field. Catching that just over the logo was Metzger.
Samira Tig will have to wait for the next pitch. Kira Quillis comes out. This entire staff for Kelly Green, products of Coastal Carolina. A lot of institutional knowledge with all the assistants on this staff.
When it comes to a conversation like this, it has to be along the lines of Abby Henderson needing to hit her spots. I know it sounds simple, but it's something that is not always easy to execute. We've seen her try to do some of that east-west, maybe throw in an elevated pitch here and there. Not too often does that when she tries to get out of some trouble. And looks as though they're in that right now. Runners on the corners, only 1 down. Samira Tig, who continuously is aggressive in the batter's box. We talked about her being a contact hitter. She's someone where singles will get the job done, and that comes at a very pivotal moment with runners on the corners.
And Tig, the sophomore out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, out of the backyard of those Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. First pitch from Henderson with 2 on and 1 out. Eagles plated 2 in the third at the time, making it a 5-2 ball game. Coastal Carolina tacked on one more run of insurance in the fourth, but have been scoreless for the last 2 innings. A big cut from Tig evens the count.
That ball had some great life there, courtesy of Henderson getting into the groove. 1-1 count. Tig still staying aggressive there at the plate. Hard swing and miss.
Maxwell on third, Bilbrey on first, with 1 out.
Henderson starting to take control there in the circle. 1-2 count.
She has struck out 2 today. I was hoping Tig would be a third after she fanned Tig back in the 4th inning.
Whenever you strike out in your last at bat, you always come up to the plate once again with a chip on your shoulder. You see she's talking to herself there in the batter's box.
Only second base unoccupied. Got her again. 2 away. So a couple of singles followed by a flyout and now a strikeout. And that margin for error for Georgia Southern continues to shrink.
Georgia Southern was coming into this trying to look for consistent hitting. We haven't necessarily seen it. But for Brooke Kell, even though she's in the 9 spot, we've seen her kick off this game here with a single, helping out Georgia Southern. Looking to get on base once more.
That single was to lead off the third. She was the first of the 2 runners to score that inning. A little half swing, but well done by Bree Normandin. So it was an ominous start as the Eagles got the first 2 on, but Coastal Carolina able to settle down. They'll head to the plate, they hope, for the final time today, with their eyes on playing again tomorrow. Right now, a 4-run lead for the 10 seed, last year's tournament champions. Well, just a doubleheader on this first day, but reminder tomorrow, we will go 4 deep with great competition here in the Sun Belt. It'll begin with 6 seed JMU against the Bobcats of San Marcos in their final year here in the conference, your 3 seed. Winner of this game will see 2nd seeded Marshall tomorrow, roughly 1 o'clock Central, and then it's the number 1 seed, your regular season champion, ULM, playing the winner of tonight's matchup, whether it be the host, Louisiana, or perhaps Troy, and then the nightcap tomorrow. It'll be South Alabama against Southern Miss. Again, 6 teams will begin their journeys tomorrow. Your top 6 seeds among the 10 teams that qualified this year.
We're excited to bring you the call. There's going to be a lot of amazing action coming your way, and it's going to be pretty fierce and pretty competitive.
Kaylee Croft again in the circle for Georgia Southern, has pitched a couple of shutout innings in the 5th and the 6th. Livy Payne, the senior, trying to provide just a late spark here for a little extra insurance. That Thames has it one away.
I like the way that Coastal Carolina is thinking. They want to give another fresh look. They want to bring in a new face and also give Payne an opportunity here. Pretty comfortable with a 6-2 lead, but when we know Coastal Carolina, we know that that's not always enough. They want to continue to hit the gas.
Always good to see another senior factored in. Here's Libby Pippin. Senior in her own right, out of Alabama. And Chanticleer scored their 6 runs over the first 4 innings, including a 3-run top of the 3rd. They have given their pitching a lead to work with all day here on this opening day. That began with Kate Ryan, followed up by Abby Henderson. Izzy Ramirez on deck. Six runs on 10 hits so far today for Coastal Carolina. I mean, they haven't lost a conference tournament game in well over a year. You remember 2024? It was so long ago. Last year, Troy was the host, and they enjoyed their time there just fine.
Well, it's so interesting that the complexion of this Coastal Carolina team has changed a few times, but every single season when they have a different obstacle, they try to overcome. Now in a pretty good spot, 6-2 over Georgia Southern.
And when we talk about the pop in these bats, this is probably about as dangerous of a 10 seed as you'll ever face.
Yeah, it's interesting how that shifts your mentality when you're coming in and people weren't necessarily predicting that you'd be at this point. It brings a chip on your shoulder and genuinely nothing to lose.
Goes chasing and down on strikes. 2 away. And Georgia Southern a little bit closer to grabbing their bats in the bottom of the 7th.
You would not think that Croft is a freshman. She continues to get creative, tries to make adjustments continuously as she faces some of the toughest bats here in the Sun Belt Conference and has come out on top. Great position to be in now, top of 7.
All right, here's Izzy Ramirez in the bottom 3rd of the order with 2 outs. Sacrifice fly back in the 3rd, a walk in the 5th. And despite all that, she's officially 0 for 1 today, because that's how we score things in this sport. And just a freshman, Izzy Ramirez, facing a fellow fresh face in this Sun Belt Conference in Croft.
I like Ramirez's demeanor right now. It's always a little tough. You're working in, no balls, 2 strikes. Now as the count has gone 1-2, but still you have to be patient. You have to be somewhat selective when there's that part of your brain that is just screaming that you have to put something in play. You've got to stay alive.
In Croft could be 1 strike away from getting the Eagles back to the plate in the bottom of the 7th, down by 4. That's been the margin for the past few innings. The 2-2 to Ramirez, and the count will go full. In the last couple of innings, we've seen a little bit more green and red make their way into Lamson Park here at Yvette Gerard Field. Into foul territory, but running out of real estate.
Croft has had a hard time executing on that outer part of the plate, taking on Ramirez here, looking to dial back in, full count. And pretty interesting to see, too, a lot of Marshall colors right behind home plate.
Yeah, they made sure to beat the host school. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. This one sent out towards left center, but nothing Emma Davis can't handle. So Georgia Southern has shut down Coastal Carolina the last 3 innings. That keeps them within 4, but they are down to perhaps their final 3 outs in 2026. Abby Henderson, the second pitcher used today by Coastal Carolina, came into that third inning after Georgia Southern scored their only 2 runs, shut them down, getting the next 2 outs against the next 2 batters she saw. She has gone now 3 2/3 today, striking out 3. Of the 14 batters she has faced, a little over 50 pitches so far thrown. She has helped preserve a lead for the 10th seed Chanticleers. And 3 outs away from making sure they play again tomorrow against Marshall. Top of the order for Georgia Southern. This is Kayla Christensen, 0 for 3 today. Eagles fans would tell you that means she's due.
They most certainly will. She's going to lay off of that one on the outer half of the plate. But when it comes to Kayla Christensen, while we haven't seen her normal production as we have in previous games in today's matchup, she is reliable in that leadoff spot. She does create scoring opportunities, and she does have the ability to make strong contact. She just has to put those pieces together against a challenge that has been represented in Abby Henderson, who now just goes outside.
She's worked her way ahead in the count. You see her numbers on the year. Let's see if she would take this pitch regardless. See if she can't get a free pass.
Henderson trying to jam her high and inside there. Christensen laid off.
Leadoff batter has only reached twice today for Georgia Southern. And it is ball 4. So ideal start here for the Eagles with all 3 outs still to work with, trailing by 4 in the bottom of the 7th.
Christensen will happily take the free pass to get a runner aboard here for the Golden Eagles. This is a moment that they truly need to try to get churning here. Dell Thames ready to go.
Thames a walk in the first, single and run scored in the third, struck out in the 5th. Not going to gamble with that base runner, Christensen. She is not the tying or go-ahead run. We just need to slowly, methodically bring her around along with a handful of others.
Dell can turn on the Jets. She's already brought around 45 runners so far this year.
Count evens up to Thames. Coastal Carolina would welcome a ground ball up the middle. With a runner on first, Christensen. This one out of play, foul.
I like Dell's approach as she continues to get out of the box, get back in. She'll take a dry swing here and there, get back in her rhythm and timing. Really driving with that lead arm. Trying to help her get in the rhythm of motion or to help her pack a punch.
Abby Henderson trying to close things out. Still needs 3 outs here in the 7th to do so with a 4-run lead. This count evens back up 2-2.
This defense won't take any risks with a runner aboard. Don't want to lose that 4-run lead.
Going straight back and out of play. And both of the runs for Georgia Southern back in the 3rd inning before Abby Henderson came in to limit the damage to just 2. Georgia Southern would strand 2 more runners in scoring position that inning. And have left a total of 7 today on base. Thames out towards center. Hodgins will give way to Metzger. 1 away. And with that ball out to right field, Christensen has to hold at first base.
Great communication between Metzger and Hodgins, ensuring that the play is made. But this will set the scene now for Emma Davis. Runner still at first base, 1 down. This is a true, reliable run producer.
Again, first team all conference. If she was 7 feet tall, might have robbed a home run earlier in this ball game.
But you love the effort, though, right? That's what you want to see out of your outfielders, even if there's no way they can make the snag.
Currently working on her master's degree, already with her diploma from Georgia Southern.
These last few at-bats, Henderson has done a really nice job. She's been deploying that off-speed pitch. You've seen a few of those change-ups. I feel that she's worked really well with locations and now just trying to pull back that string and mix speeds.
Punched opposite way, foul. And we talk about the Marshall fans who are here. They're simply scouting the opposition. They are not going to see their Thundering Herd play until tomorrow against the winner of this game.
That's a program that truly does their homework.
Davis lays that off of that one. Her teammates, instead of asking whether she'll be their girl, asking if she can hit that ball. With a runner on first, the 1-2, not chasing.
Davis bringing that professional at bat, laying off it. Not going to chase those pitches that are far and away.
One on, one out, three-hole hitter Davis. And they're not giving her anything to work with. And I think she's okay with that as the count goes full with one out.
Yeah, Emma Davis will take that all day long. If you want to give her a free pass, she will gladly have you stamp her ticket.
Christensen led off this inning with a walk. 1 out later, she's still there at first. Can Davis budge her into scoring position? Puts a ball in play, and that's what you need, just a fortunate hop. There are 2 runners on for the Eagles with 1 out.
For Emma Davis, she was able to get just the very end of her bat on the ball. It wasn't a hard hit. Loose chopper, a bit of a tough play for Keith to make there. However, the ball will stay in the infield, and now runners are aboard on first and second.
They will rule it an error on Keith. Coastal Carolina still could put a quick end to this game with a double play ball. But right now it's the meat of the lineup. We just saw the 3-hole hitter Davis reach, and here's Braylon Queen, who had the 2-run double back in the 3rd. That play did the most recent run for the Eagles.
Productive and consistent, 2 words that truly describe Braylon Queen. Great situation to have this bat in play.
Only third base unoccupied with 1 out. Back into the net, foul. Leadoff walk for Christensen. She's on second. Emma Davis with the plate appearance with 1 out. Reached on the infield error. She doesn't care how you score it. She's just happy that she is on, and Georgia Southern still has 2 outs to work with. Queen early behind in the count.
I like that Queen wasn't shy to swing at the first pitch that she saw in this count. Sometimes that can be deemed as a no-no with runners on. You want to be extremely selective. But she felt it was something in her wheelhouse. Couldn't get a hold of it. But now it's still a good count, 1-1.
You get the force at third. Can you get the double play? There is your ball game. And no, they're going to hold things up. And they're going to say there is an action clock delay on the pitcher, which means there's still just 1 out. The 20-second clock, they say, expired before the pitch was thrown. So instead of a game-ending double play, you put everybody back where they were and you add a ball to the count. Wow.
We might have to wait a few minutes for the dust to settle on this one. We're taking a look at it right here. You can almost see the clock behind her, and yet Changes to black.
Now the spirit is you take kind of a beat when it hits 0. And apparently it was too long of a beat. If you're a football fan, it's the same thing with a play clock. Even when it hits 0, they still give them a moment. But you just went from ball game over to still now 2 outs to work with for the Eagles. And they take advantage of this renewed opportunity. That one foul. Count 2-2 now to Queen.
Keith was ready for it over at third, staying nice and loose after well, it could have been a game-ending double play. Now they're back to it. The Eagles glad to have this opportunity. That just goes to show sometimes in the circle you have to be quick and efficient and monitor that time.
Christensen on second, Davis on first with 1 out. And Queen just able to get a piece of it, stay alive.
Henderson having a chat there with Ramirez from behind the dish. I'm sure trying to sort out a few things, ask a few questions, get ready to go. Brand new ball, you have to feel good, feel like you can execute, need the right materials.
Val Combs on deck, barring a double play. Will have a chance to come up. Full count with 2 on, trailing by 4. In the bottom of the 7th here on the opening day of the Sun Belt Championship. Every pitch Henderson has thrown today has been with a lead. As she now has Chanticleer's 1 out away from moving on to a date with Marshall tomorrow.
Henderson not even giving a celebratory reaction after striking out Queen. Arms go down, she's back in business, staying collected.
All right, here's Val Combs, who for a moment thought that she was stuck in the on-deck circle for the entire offseason. What she thought was an inning-ending double play a moment ago. That strikeout for Queen is still a net gain for Georgia Southern compared to the other outcome if the action clock had not expired.
Combs was successful in her last at-bat, hoping to replicate that exact process.
Yeah, they ran for her with Maxwell, but Maxwell would be left standing on third. Remember, Georgia Southern got their first 2 on last inning, but could not get a run home under the watch of Abby Henderson.
Swing and a miss there. Some things just don't show up on the stat sheet, and in Combs' case, she truly has come up big in some pretty tight situations. And when it comes to what could be a historic moment, this is one where she really needs to come and meet it.
Down to their final out, trailing by 4. All Coastal Carolina was asking for was a spot here at the dance in Lafayette. They earned it last weekend. A couple of walk-off wins, both of them very necessary to qualify. And what a time to take a pitch. Count goes full with 2 outs, only third base unoccupied. How will this inning play out?
It's up to these two, Abby Henderson in the circle, Valerie Combs at the plate.
Fair ball, and the Chanticleers are still your tournament defending champions for at least another day. They will collide with second-seeded Marshall tomorrow, but tonight they'll savor a victory over Georgia Southern as the 7th seed will see their journey come to an end here on day 1.
Delaney Keith over at third base, bit of a deja vu moment, finally ending the game, almost ended with a double play that did not come to fruition due to what was happening with the pitch clock, but congratulations to Coastal Carolina. They will continue through the tournament, and Georgia Southern putting up a fight. They tried to pass the bat around. They tried to do what they could from inside the circle. It was just Coastal Carolina that was able to come out on top.
Coastal Carolina knows all about the underdog role. They rode that last year, 4 games in 4 days, all victories to move on to the NCAA tournament as first-time Sun Belt champions. We mentioned they are still the defending champions with the win today, striking for 6 runs in the first 4 innings. That is game 1. Our coverage continues later on tonight, right back here on ESPN+. It's the host, 8-seed Louisiana and 9-seed Troy. Big thanks to our entire crew. First game in the books for Jenna Rose. I'm Lincoln Rose. We'll talk to you with the Ragin' Cajuns and the Trojans up next. The 2026 Sun Belt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sun Belt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org.